Hi, this is Sri from TechieTalksAI. Welcome to AWS Developer Certification Series. In this one, we are going to look at SNS, okay? Simple Notification Service of Amazon. So this quiz is mainly on SNS, but it also includes IAM roles, Lambda Aliases, CloudWatch custom metrics, CodeDeploy, and CloudFormation Conditions. Question 1. A Lambda function needs to publish message to SQS queue, a Lambda function. Function may be deployed to EC2, Lambda, or Elastic Beanstalk depending on the environment. Corporate policy prohibits storing static IAM credentials. What is the most secure authentication approach? Attach IAM execution role. Lambda execution roles, EC2 instant profiles, and Elastic Beanstalk instant profiles provide temporary AWS credentials automatically. Correct answer is Lambda execution roles. EC2 instance profiles and Elastic Beanstalk instance profiles provide temporary AWS credentials automatically. AWS SDK retrieves and rotates them without storing static keys. So others are wrong. Why others are wrong? Hardcode IAM keys in a config file. Keys can leak through source code, backups, logs, or server access. Use secrets manager for static IAM keys. Better than hard coding, but still uses long-lived keys unnecessarily. IAM roles are the correct AWS native approach. One shared IAM user for all environments. Poor security and auditing. Dev, test, and prod should not share the same long-lived credentials. For the exam, remember AWS workload running on AWS is IAM role, not access keys. So the correct answer is attach IAM execution role to the compute resource. The SDK automatically retrieves temporary credentials from the instance metadata service. Question 2. A developer uses CodeDeploy to deploy a Lambda function. Function has multiple published versions, uses an alias to route traffic. Developer wants 20% of traffic to shift to the new version immediately, with the rest shifting over the next 30 minutes. Which CodeDeploy deployment configuration achieved this? Correct answer is custom CodeDeploy deployment configuration with 20% initial traffic and gradual remaining shift. So custom deployment configuration with 20% initial and 10% per minute. Explanation: custom linear or canary configuration allows you to define the initial percentage and shift interval. Canary 20%, 5 minutes, shifts 20% initially, then all at once after 5 minutes. A custom configuration with 20% initial shifting and remaining 80% linearly over 30 minutes is the correct fit. Why others are wrong? Lambda all at once sends 100% traffic immediately, no gradual safety check. Lambda canary 20%, 5 minutes, sends 20% immediately, but then sends the remaining 80% all at once after only 5 minutes. Lambda linear 10% every 1 minute, gradually shifts traffic but starts at 10% per minute and reaches 100% in 10 minutes, not 20% initially, and 30 minutes overall. Exam memory, canary, small percentage first, then all remaining traffic. Linear, gradual percentage increase at intervals. Exact usual requirement, custom deployment configuration. Question 3, an application on EC2 needs to track the number of active user sessions, a metric not available in standard CloudWatch. How should the developer publish this custom metric? The correct answer is use CloudWatch PutMetricData API. Your application can publish any metric value, such as active sessions, into a custom CloudWatch namespace with dimensions. Example namespace, my application, metric name, active user sessions, value 245, dimension environment equals to prod. The developer calls this API from application code with the correct session count, enabling CloudWatch alarms and dashboards and application-specific metrics. Why others are wrong? Write to local file and rely on CloudWatch agent auto discovery. CloudWatch agent does not automatically discover arbitrary numbers in local files as application metrics. Use SNS to broadcast metric value. SNS sends notification messages. It does not create CloudWatch metrics. Use CloudTrail. CloudTrail records AWS API activity, not business metrics like current active sessions. Exam memory, custom application metric equals PutMetricData. Question 4, an SNS topic has two SQS queues subscribed. QA for order messages, QB for all messages. The developer wants QA to receive only messages with attribute type equals order, while QB receives everything. What is the correct configuration? Correct answer is add an SNS subscription filter policy only to QA. SNS subscription filter policy only to QA. Leave QB without a filter. Why this is correct? SNS evaluates filter policies before delivering messages. QA receives only messages where type is order. QB has no filter, so it receives every published message. Example, QA filter is type is order within square brackets. Why others are wrong? Filter in SQS consumer code. QA would still receive irrelevant messages, increasing SQS storage, polling cost, and processing. Create two separate SNS topics. Works, but creates more publishers and topics. And this is unnecessary when subscription filtering solves it clearly. Use Lambda to route messages. Adds an extra service, code, cost, latency, and failure point. Exam memory, SNS fan out plus only selected messages per subscriber is subscription filter policy. So the correct answer is add SNS subscription filter policy on the QA subscription that matches only messages where the type attributes equals order. Leave QB with no filter. Question 5. An application must simultaneously notify an email service, an SQS queue for async processing, and an HTTP webhook when an event occurs. The developer wants a single publish call to reach all three. Which AWS pattern achieves this? Correct is publish once to an SNS topic, subscribe SQS, then HTTP or HTTPS endpoint, and Lambda email processing. All three receive the message with one SNS publish call. So explanation is SNS PubSub service that fans out a single publish message to all subscribers simultaneously. That is SQS, HTTP or HTTPS endpoints, Lambda, which can call the SCS, simple email service, and email are all supported subscriber types. One publish call reaches all subscribers. Why others are wrong? Publish separately to each destination, more code, more failure handling, no centralized fan out. Event bridge with three separate buses. Event bridge can route events, but three buses are unnecessary for the simple notification fan out pattern. SQS FIFO with multiple consumer groups. SQS is a queue. One message is normally consumed by one consumer, not copied to multiple independent destinations. Important note, SNS can directly send email notification using an email subscription, but for richer email forwarding, use SCS, simple email service integration. SNS can trigger Lambda. Lambda can call SCS. Exam memory, one message to many destinations is SNS fan out. Question 6, a developer publishes a new Lambda function version 3, but the $latest alias is routing all traffic there. A developer realizes $latest always points to the most recently deployed code and cannot be pointed to a numbered version. How should a developer create a stable production pointer that stays on V2 until explicitly changed? Correct answer is create a named Lambda alias such as prod pointing to version 2. Why this is correct? A named alias is a stable pointer to a published Lambda version. API gateway and other callers should use the alias ARN, not $latest. Lambda aliases are named pointers to a specific published versions. Creating a prod alias to V2 means callers using the alias ARN always invoke V2, regardless of future deployments. The alias is updated to v3 only when explicitly changed. It is scalable and independently controlled. Why others are wrong? Use $latest in production. $latest changes whenever new code is deployed. It's not stable. Set default Lambda version to 2. Lambda has no default version setting that behaves this way. Use environment variable to choose version. Environment variables cannot redirect Lambda invocation to a different Lambda version. Exam memory, $latest is mutable development code. Named alias is stable production pointer. Question 7. Last question. A CloudFormation template must create an SNS topic in production but skip it in development. Both environments use the same template differentiated by an environment parameter. How is this implemented? The correct answer is use CloudFormation condition. Defines a condition is prod not equals and exclamation ref environment prod and apply it to the SNS topic resource using the condition key. The topic is only created when is prod is true. And the explanation, CloudFormation conditions evaluate parameters or mapping values and control whether resources outputs properties are included. Attaching is prod condition to the SNS topic resource means CloudFormation creates it only when the environment parameter equals prod. Why others are wrong? Separate template, duplicate infrastructure code, and makes maintenance harder. Mapping section, mapping store lookup values, they do not decide whether resources are created. Nested stack can work but is unnecessary complexity for one conditional resource. Exam memory, one CloudFormation template and resource only in one environment is conditions. Now, quick SNS revision table. One event to many consumers, SNS topic. Different messages to each subscriber, SNS subscription filter policy. SNS to multiple SQS queues, SNS fan out. SNS to email, webhook or queue, SNS subscriptions. No stored AWS credentials, IAM role. Stable Lambda production version, Lambda alias. Public custom CloudWatch metric, PutMetricData. Conditional production only resource, CloudFormation condition. Exact Lambda traffic rollout pattern, custom code deploy configuration. Most important SNS exam trap, SNS copies messages to every matching subscribers. SQS give one message to one consumer. SNS filter policy filters before delivery. Filtering inside the SQS consumer weighs messages, polling and cost. Lambda $latest is not a safe production target. Use named alias such as prod. Please remember to like, share and subscribe and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.